Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing the match preview for tomorrow's Cup game, Celtic against Hearts at Celtic Park. Of course, the last time we played Hearts, things didn't exactly go to plan. It wasn't the result we were looking for. We have the chance to seek for revenge tomorrow, and hopefully we do so as we build on what has been an incredibly successful week or so for Celtic. Before we go any further with the video, please make sure to check out the top line of the description and check out the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app, as always, is the sponsor for the channel, and it's the best place to get all your footballing news. If you want to keep up with the game tomorrow, you want any team lineup reactions or news stories or anything else across the whole of world football, then use the OneFootball app. It's all there in the one place, and it's the best app on the market. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to check out my second channel. The link for that will be in the description, and where we have started the content for the 21-22 season, which is going to be a very exciting journey on that second channel. I know it's not for everyone, but you know, it's some extra content for you. Right then, as I said at the top of the video, Celtic against Hearts tomorrow, and Hearts of course beat us 2-1 in the opening game of the season, so a chance for a little bit of revenge there to go and kind of right the wrongs of that trip to Tynecastle. The advantage this time is that we will be at a Celtic Park which should be close to full capacity. Of course, we've had people taking digs at the full capacity because the main stand was empty, even though we can't fill the main stand, you know, it's out with the fans' control. But near capacity Celtic Park tomorrow, hopefully, and a chance to build on what has been a very entertaining couple of weeks for Celtic. You know, we're really now getting to see the wheels in motion. We're seeing the progression of this Celtic side, and with how we're performing on the park and as a football team, I couldn't be more happy. Now, Ange Postecoglou has came out and said he would like another couple of signings. He expects a couple of signings over the coming weeks. So the board are, yes, and this is in no way a sort of negative towards Ange or the team. It's more towards the board. The board now need to back the manager. He's shown us he has the tools to succeed at Celtic, but he can't succeed to the max without the right players, without the quality that we need to go and win league titles and win trophies. So hopefully the board are listening. Hopefully they don't let Ange down and they bring in players through the door. We see us seeing all these stories about us short-changing for right backs and centre backs and all the rest of it. We don't have time, and we don't have really the sort of, we shouldn't be in that position where we're short-changing nowadays. We need to go and pay the fees that clubs want if we can afford it, and we need to bring players through the door. The board need to back the man who they think is the right man for the job, and that's Ange Postecoglou. Now, I know I didn't do a free things we learned video for the Jablonec game on Thursday night. I was just trying to enjoy myself being back to Celtic Park for the first time with a kind of full house there, so I never got round to it, and yesterday I thought it was a bit pointless by the time that I surfaced. So yeah, we were brilliant on Thursday, and that's what we need to take into this game tomorrow against Hearts. We need to take those exact positives that we've seen against Jablonec sort of go over both legs, what we've seen against Dundee in that 6-0 win. We just need to keep attacking the opponents. I think that, you know, against Hearts at Tynecastle, we certainly did have a lion's share of the possession. We were the team in control for the majority of the game. But at the end of the day, I feel like we weren't as clinical as what we've been against the last three sides. And yes, Hearts are a greater, I think, quality of opposition, and they're going to make life harder. They certainly like to make things more physical, defend a bit better, and that is more difficult to break down and create chances. But we need to approach this game tomorrow at Celtic Park like we've approached the last few, and not how we approached it at Tynecastle. I feel like we were a bit passive in the final third when we were at Tynecastle the first time. And we weren't quite clicking, and we weren't quite hitting the heights and what we've been seeing over the last 3 games, but we're now learning from that, and players all over the park are really getting drilled into this system now. It is still early days, and I don't expect things to be perfect. I don't expect things to be running at 100%. At the end of the day, this is a massive culture change for every player at the club. I mean, the differences between Neil Lennon's football and Ange Postecoglou's football is night and day. So it's never going to be a 100% smooth transition in the space of, you know, the opening 3-4 games. But we need to keep that going now. I think that Thursday night offered a greater test than what Dundee did, and we still managed to take the game and go and approach that game with the same sort of attitude we did when we beat Dundee 6-0. And that was just by bombarding them with opportunity after opportunity and chance after chance. And I want to see that again. We have been sending out teams now in the last couple of games that are very balls to the wall, attacking minded, and getting as many attacking minded players in the park. We kind of ditched the whole idea of playing a kind of defensive midfielder. We had Turnbull, McGregor and Rogic running the show, and a big credit to Postecoglou for getting Rogic playing some really good stuff just now. I'm not going to get it over my head and say Rogic is back to his best or whatever, because we thought we'd seen this last season when he came back into the team against Aberdeen, and we thought we had Rogic back at his best, and then he fell off the face of the earth. But the signs right now are very positive. I think he looks a fitter player. I think he looks like he suits the system, and ultimately he's getting himself more involved in what he was, the majority of last season. So a big credit to Ange in that part, but I want to see that again. I want us to play an attacking team, and I know Hearts do possess the quality to cause problems for Celtic, but if we hold the ball and we create the same amount of chances we have in the last few games, there's no doubt in my mind we can go and score another 3 or 4 past Hearts tomorrow. I know they have just beat us, and people that don't support Celtic were thinking, well, what gives you the right to say that? I think when you look at it at Celtic Park and you look at it after the form and the attitude that we've been in, the mood changes big time. I know it was only a space of 2 weeks that this has all happened in, but the mood in the camp is very different. We were off the back of European annoyance with Midtjylland, and now we're off the back of some pretty good results. So the whole mentality has changed, and I think a lot of players have came on to a stronger game too. You look at David Turnbull when we played Hearts in the opening game. He was anonymous. He was anonymous in that game, and he was anonymous in games prior to that game. But now he's off the back of scoring a brace. He was very impressive last week against Dundee as well. These are the kind of signs that are encouraging to suggest we can go and score a few goals tomorrow. I think we need to cause a lot more problems from the full-back areas in this game in comparison to the first Hearts game. Tony Ralston, of course, scored a beauty against Hearts in the opening game of the season. But I feel like Greg Taylor wasn't maybe up to scratch. But I was very impressed with Taylor on Thursday night, I must admit. So if we could get these fullbacks more involved, it'll cause Hearts a lot more problems. I don't know if they quite have the pace or the sort of quality to keep up with the style of football these fullbacks play. Of course, I'm not saying that Ralston and Taylor are world beaters by any means. I'm not even saying they're great players. But over the past 2-3 games, what they've been proving is, in that Ange Postecoglou system and the fullbacks he wants to play, getting very narrow, getting forward, scoring goals, and being in positions you don't expect them to be, it causes teams a lot of problems. Their head kind of goes all over the place. And how do you keep up with this? Where do I go? How do I follow them? I feel like we didn't quite have that yet against Hearts, but now over the past 2-3 games we have had that. And the Hearts, I think, will struggle to keep up with that. So I'm hoping that Ralston and Taylor, if they are the ones that start, manage to cause that problem, and it'll give Hearts a lot of questions. What we need to be careful about is just that back line in general, though. That's how Hearts took advantage of us in the first game, silly mistakes, and it's how a lot of teams will score goals in this season. Silly mistakes, errors, lapses of concentration. Ultimately, that's how we concede goals. We've been doing it for the last sort of 12 to 15 months, and it's not going to slow down until we have the quality in there. But if we can switch our heads on tomorrow and play in front of our own crowd with a confidence in that back line, and I'm fairly certain we can keep Hearts out. I think the team will probably, going on to my team prediction and score prediction now, I think that it'll probably stay the same. Let's get one thing straight. Hearts haven't been bad so far. They've proven me wrong, I think, to this point. Still a long way to go. They still could have a slip up and a run of form that shows that they have those weaknesses that I spoke about in my prediction video, but they've started the season fairly strong. They've opened up with a good couple of wins. They're rightfully up at the top end of the table, and you know what, they're not going to be pushovers. By no means am I saying that. I think Hearts will be the most difficult challenge since we have started picking up form, and it will be a real test for us. But we really need to keep this confidence going and the kind of similarities from the performances, and get players familiar, build that familiarity with the system against better opposition, because we play Rangers in a couple of weeks. We've got AZ Alkmaar this week as well, so it's going to be a big couple of weeks for Celtic, and we need to start off the confidence with a win against a side like Hearts. My team prediction, I think it will stay pretty much the same as what we've been seeing. I feel like McCarthy might get involvement. I think he should be available for the bench. I don't see him starting the game. Will he go with Rogic, Turnbull and McGregor again? I don't think so. I think that he'll take Rogic out. We do know Rogic does struggle with fitness issues here and there. I think if he wants to use him against Alkmaar, he'll take him off for his own sake. A lot of people were raising the question, it's a cup game, will we see heavy rotation? We're not playing mugs, we're not playing a team in League 2, League 1, we're playing Hearts, we're playing Premiership opposition, we're playing a team who'll be very much wanting to win a cup this season. So we need to play our strongest side. There's no reason I think Ange will treat this differently from any other league game or Champions League game or Europa League game. I think this will be treated as a top game. And I think maybe Sorrow will come in there, and I think the rest of the team will stay the exact same. Abada actually I think might come back in for Forest. I feel like that would make sense as well. Forest did play well on Thursday, got a goal, but if Abada's fit and he's ready to play again, I don't know what his injury status is because he took a wee knock before the game. I think he'll come back in. That makes sense to keep his momentum running as well. Apart from that, I think we'll see the same team. And for my score predictions, well, what am I going to say? I'm going to go for Celtic 3, Hearts 1. I think we might concede a goal. But look, I think we should go out, attack the game from the start, try and get an early goal, settle the nerves. And if we do that, the crowd will get back, we'll get right behind the team, which we will anyway. I'm not saying we wouldn't get behind the team, but, you know, if we score early on, it'll get the place rocking a little bit. I think the nerves will calm a little bit. And we'll be ready to go, and score another couple. So I'm going to go 3-1 Celtic. There's my prediction for tomorrow. I hope we go through. I really want us to start winning trophies. I say start winning trophies as if we stopped winning trophies. We never stopped winning trophies. We're just off the back of a quadruple treble last season, or 2 seasons ago technically, if you want to get hang about it. But, you know, I want us to continue that. I want us to get back to, you know, challenging for 2-3 trophies a season. And that starts with a win against Hearts, hopefully tomorrow. Anyway, let me know your opinions in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts to my thoughts and all the rest of it. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.